I have to ruin an after party, I will.
If you had the full story, you wouldn't want somebody like that to be your wife.
Is Shanae going to crash the after party of the group date on tonight's Bachelor? Hey guys, and welcome back to another shared news. We've got to talk about the antics Shanae will be getting herself into on tonight's Bachelor. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Morgan Wright. And Morgan, it's been no secret that Shanae has been this season's Bachelor villain. And if you think you've seen it all with Shanae, you're going to have to think again. We're going to be getting into some clips of tonight's episode where it's going to get crazy. But Morgan, I want to know, where do you think Shanae ranks out of the past few seasons' villain? Is she bigger than Queen Victoria, Crystal? Where do we put her in the Bachelor Villain Hall of Fame?
Oh, I mean, she's definitely making a name for herself as one of the biggest villains. I think, with Victoria, we kind of saw her demise coming, but it kind of seems like Clayton has these blinders on when it comes to Shanae. Of course, we'll get more into that in this next episode, especially when they have this 2-on-1 date. But even he tweeted something, I think, last week saying, what he was being told and what he's seeing is two completely different things. So I think the fact that because Clayton is being easily manipulated by Shanae, I think that's making her an even bigger villain.
It's definitely, Shanae versus the whole house. A lot of the girls are noticing this behavior, but like you mentioned, Clayton had no idea. The producers weren't telling him. We only saw Elizabeth kind of tell Clayton there was red flags with Shanae. So let's take a look at this first preview for tonight's episode to see what the women are going to do about Shanae.
But yeah, guys, so what are we gonna do about this whole Shanae bitch?
I know.
Personally, I'm not her friend because I know her character.
And I don't want her on my group date, to be quite honest. I don't feel like dealing with that.
So we have Sierra, Gabby, and Genevieve kind of talking about how they're going to bring it up to Clayton.
And Clayton needs to know who she really is. It's not gonna get better unless we all were to tell him.
Yeah.
Straight up, like, hey, this is her character.
Yeah.
Like, if on that group way, we all tell him, this is not somebody you would want to marry.
Morgan, do we think the walls are that thin, or is this scene just really edited?
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, even looking at them right now, they're sitting on a couch not anywhere close to a wall. So I definitely think producers manipulated that a little bit because I don't think that she would be able to hear what they were saying through that wall. No way, not in a hotel room. Are you serious?
I'm pissed. For them to plot what they're going to say to Clayton to send me home is kind of don't mess with me. Clayton can send me home, but these bitches are not sending me home.
Yeah, and the producers are telling Shanae, like, put your head against the wall now. We don't know. They might be in a hotel room because I know they are going to be packing their bags this week, actually, after the rose ceremony. There was another preview, not one of the ones we're going to be looking at today, but they are going to be leaving the mansion this week. So I think they're in a hotel, and I think the producers are telling Shanae, hey, Shanae, put your head against the wall. And I mean, every show on this scene is so edited, but of course me and Morgan are going to play along with you. Morgan, do you think they have a good strategy going around here? Or do you think Sierra and Genevieve should just kind of let Clayton figure it out for himself?
Honestly, if I was in that situation, I probably would want Clayton to know too, especially because you don't want him to get to the end of this. And even if it wasn't one of these three women, you don't want him to choose Shanae and have one, idea of her in his head. And it's like, oh, this is my future wife. And then you watch the show back and it's something completely different. I mean, we've seen her lie straight to his face and convince him of that lie. So I feel like, it's always sticky waters when you start to talk about other people in your time with the lead. But at the end of the day, you got to get that toxic energy out of here. And the ladies are going to do what they have to do. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, if I was one of the girls, I probably would only say something to Clayton if Shanae directly affected me or bothered me. If Shanae was like coming at me like she came for Elizabeth, then I would say something because I wouldn't be able to bite my tongue. But if Shanae was bothering other people in the house, I probably would just like not bring it up to him and just stay out of it if it had nothing to do with me. So that's just kind of where I stand on it. But it seems like Sierra has been kind of leading this train the past couple of weeks, and she is really not feeling Shanae. We have another clip here on what's going to happen when Shanae supposedly crashes the group date after party. So let's take a look.
Let's make a toast to having no drama.
If I have to ruin an after party, I will.
If you had the full story, you wouldn't want somebody like that to be your wife.
I don't think many people trust her. You don't marry toxic.
I have no words.
Wow. So a lot of the girls are going to be bringing up concerns to Clayton. Morgan, have you ever crashed an after party or just a party in general? What's the etiquette?
Yeah, absolutely. I crashed a wedding reception a couple weeks ago.
Ooh.
I didn't know anybody there. Yeah, I just crashed, but we just danced the night away. We weren't there for too long, so that is
Not
my
bad.
extent on crashing parties. But nothing like this. Nothing that was caught on TV. Nothing that directly impacts people's relationships. So. Can I just say I love the "you don't marry toxic" line. I feel like that needs to be the new "here for the wrong reasons." Like, that needs to be a Bachelor slogan from here on out.
It's a funny line, don't marry toxic, and we are seeing Shanae be pretty toxic throughout this season. She's not just fighting with Elizabeth, she's fighting with all of the girls, and when you are that one girl in the house that everyone has a problem with, I think that they probably have a problem with you for a reason. I mean, sometimes people get cliquey and they like to gang up on someone because it like covers their tracks. So I like to give the villain the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like we've seen Shanae be super extra, and even her crashing this after party to begin with is a no-no. If you weren't invited, I say don't go to the party. As far as like crashing parties in general, only go if there's like a couple hundred people where you can blend in.
Yeah.
If it's like a party with like 20 people and everyone's gonna see you, it's not worth crashing. It will be awkward. But big parties, you can just pretend you know someone on the list. I say go for it.
Yep.
I'm always down for that. But Morgan, how do we think this is gonna play out with Shanae? Do you think that the other girls are gonna get through to Clayton, or do you think his connection with Shanae is so strong?
Well, all of us at home would say he's going to send Shanae packing. But it's interesting because we do know we left last week on such a cliffhanger when it comes to the 2-on-1 moment with Shanae and Elizabeth. And, if Elizabeth was sent home in that 2-on-1 moment, she wouldn't be in any of these promos, and we have seen none of Elizabeth. So I don't know if Clayton is just playing along with producers, maybe encouraging him to keep the villain around, or if he really does have a genuine connection with Shanae. I think I personally wouldn't really be able to tell that until I saw them in a one-on-one date scenario. I don't think Shanae is going to get a one-on-one date. I think she'll probably either go home at the end of this week or next week. At least I guess that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, the Elizabeth of it all is a really good point for you to bring up because we saw that on the last episode. Clayton said he's going to have to address this with the two of them before the rose ceremony. And if you remember last year, Matt James did the same thing with MJ and Jasenia, where he brought them into a private room, sat them down, heard both of their sides. One of them ended up staying and one of them ended up going. So if history repeats itself and that happens to be the case, Elizabeth might get sent home in the beginning of this week's episode. And then we'll have to kind of see how things play out with Shanae because it seems like the whole house is now against her. There's no more just hiding behind the Elizabeth feud. This is much bigger of a situation. Morgan, ultimately, what is your guess? You think Shanae will get the rose this week?
Yeah, let's just say she'll stick around for one more week. And then next week we will say goodbye to Shanae.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. I think she is the biggest personality in the house. She is the villain. They probably don't want to cut her too loose. So I think she might stay another week or two. But you guys are going to have to let us know what you think because that's everything we have to share with you guys. So comment down below your predictions for tonight's Bachelor. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the lovely Morgan Wright. Our social media handles are on the screen right now. So be sure to give us a follow, come say hello. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.